Okay, we got a live cookie for you tonight.
Tell all of us about that. CEO of Micro Works, and executive producer and narrator of How America Works. That premieres tonight.
It's not necessarily Micro. It's somebody who does the job that Micro did for Dirty Job, which is so critical. They are all the safety manuals that you will ever need through this skid steer tutorial video. And then you know. It's like, these are the mistakes, these are not the mistakes. I love overhead cameras, man. I'm all about it. But, we do, it was a good day today. I was out front. I was doing the S-boards and stuff like that, the grade boards for, you gotta fight them all, the 9s and the 10s, or the 10s and the 9s, because they'll go on one pallet. But you got to stack the 9s or the 10s on the outside and do the bottom rows and get everything started up, which doesn't seem like it's all that difficult, but while that chain is running, it can be interesting. But other than that, I was one today where it got kind of choked out, where I was like, man, I get it. I get what it is. You're not going to be able to predict what board footage you're getting out of a tree, and then back to back in two of them that were real good or something like that. You get a whole flurry of them coming at you at once. And meanwhile, the normal job is throw them up on there, and it's pretty good. I mean, you could be running anything from 10-foot 4x6s, and everything else is pretty much downhill. And of course, the other guy on the other side, they're doing the 12s and the 14s and stuff like that, doing the loader stuff and figuring stuff out. I haven't been there long enough to. You have to work the position to know whether somebody is up or down or sideways, especially when you're still learning a skill. You don't have time to really look out. You're just doing that there, and then as a board factory, it's like tread line. And there's not really a downtime. There's not really any of those things, but in there is a luxury little window where it's like you get an extra smoke break when it's not completely loaded out, or there's something broke in the saw. It doesn't take long to clear off that rail, so you can get a little downtime that way. But for me, it doesn't matter. I don't feel. You'll feel it for about a week or two, something like that, and then you just don't get it anymore. Your fingers will harden up real good. You get your fingertips nicked a couple of times, break a couple of bones, whatever. You'll stop breaking stuff once you get good.
Have we devalued work? Yeah.
But that early phase is gonna be a crusher in there, because it's like, it's not so hard, and you get the 10-footers where they're supposed to go, and you know that, all right, the technique says you can throw them on another board. Here, I've actually did a little bit of studying on other sawmills and kind of watching their technique. Just get it out of there, and you're getting too many of them, and then cycle through it. And if you have the luxury of a down pallet or something like that, you can kick off on some of those, get two of them running. But you don't want to step on anybody's toes yet or anybody's techniques yet. So the way you go about it is relative up to a point. But other than that, it's not bad. It's take a board, you stick it on a pallet. You push that pallet, and then you wrap it up. Not too bad. Technical chainsaw. I mean, that's about it. Knock off some stuff, and she's done.
On a micro level, you can still find individuals who are willing to show up early. Stay late. Learn a skill.
I wish they were a little bit. That's one thing I'd say is, like, when you're coming from, gloves are not an option. Gloves are, especially for newbies. It's like, it's one thing when it's some powerhouse old school that you can't do anything with. But even if it was a one of that guy or her, it's like your first day, you decide to, I'm strong. It's not an option. It's not an option. You won't get blisters on your hand. You're not going to get splinters or stone cuts or whatever you're going to do when you're soft. When you're early in the beginning, you're going to be making mistakes. You're going to be picking up more than you should, and that wears. I wish I had my chisel. I'll tell you what, 6 months on a chisel will do. It'll mushroom that thing right over on you. There won't be any new paint left on it. They're abrasive. But I did get a call back from Quickway tonight. They got my hire package all ready to go, so I'll see if
I wouldn't know what to do.
I probably, I wanted to thinking about it for a little bit. It is what it is. They do a little bit better. on what it is. But even if it's still, I might do a double. Go work for them in the morning, get done and do nights over there at Quickway. It'd be nice. As long as you ain't physically cranking board like that, that's okay. And I could get into it, just assume that I could. I'm not going to, with that being in mind. I just needed across the board 2 little ones that are close to home like that I can basically handle. Well, Prosky's isn't exactly. When you got enough mill experience and you've seen enough of them like I have, you've seen the tread lines and things, it brings up some stock questions, I think, is the best way to do it. Because if you say metaphysical or personal belief stuff, it's trouble, but you get the luxury of at least saying from a person's perspective to say a portfolio says I do this, that's what that is. If I can juggle that for a good long little while or something like that, of course you're going to go to whichever one's closest and pays best. It's just that's the circle of life, man. It's I would say it's bad here, but when like I know it, it's one of those things. It's like here in the last few jobs that I've had, it's like I can be an equipment operator, training crew, cranking rock all day, and some kid in McDonald's makes as much as I do.
Scholarships. All right, that's what we do. Micro, thank you. It's how America.
I got those numbers. I mean, yeah. It's nice that they were being nice to me. I know what they said that they would start somebody off at normally, and they're doing me a lot better than that. That's really nice of them. It really is. I mean, I appreciate that for what it is, but I do work like plumbers do work, or a mechanic does work. Like they get ASC certified to go out and get that business, or only anybody can come to you, and all the regulations on that thing, and it's like there's nothing for us guys, nothing, no safety net for us out there for saying, hey, that's what we provided for it. I mean, you get a resume as long as you were a good worker, and you're guaranteed not to get one if you were a shitty one. I mean, it's just that easy. It's what it is. They didn't want to know, they wouldn't call you or ask your old company. They'd just tell you to come in, fill out the interview, and get it done. Other than where you used to be is a kind of a loose-lit idea, but when they're local like that, especially even if it's in the city and they're banging around what the close kids will do in the area, it's common hat. It is what it is. There's really only so much you can say before you got to be like, well, it is what it is. So for me, like I said, if I can pick up the night shift, 4 to 11 or something like that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's only 7 hours. It'd need to be 3 to... I have a problem doing that to people. It's been the tried and true. Usually there's an anchor up top there that's been so long that you can't move it or anything like that. And then even when one of the companies does or something, this one gets all pissy and bitchy about it, and it blows up anyways, and you wind up being the crew guy that gets hurt worse anyways out of it, even if you're the lucky one that catches it out of that. But, it is what it is. I mean, I love the workout, but I can work out. I can push ups and run all day, and if I wanted to, that's fine. I don't need a job to do that, and I don't need the clout either. It's not like for a guy like me, I'd be too worried about. It's like, oh well, that's a man's job. It's like, Johnny, I've been around too damn long, and bounced around most of them around here to tell you, like, maybe for you would need that, but I don't need that anymore. I mean, I got a good reputation for that, so usually when a big dog comes around and they start dropping whatever number, I've had a few interviews recently. The problem was that they were too far out. It takes where that was, and it starts chewing at it a little bit, for gas price to get out there. And then you're still an hour in the morning and an hour back on top of an 8, 9, 10 hour day, which gets old in a fucking hurry. Because, you can't just lose all that in traffic and transit, and you're up gang busting some gang saws. doing it like that, it gets old and hairy. See, you don't. I mean, I'm sure it's work. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff to it, but it's not. All right, grab a hold of this horse and pull that fucker.